putting on about financial stability. A good time for that, but also a good time to talk about the outlook for Fed policy. Let's start with the easy thing, which is my question about your takeaway from this morning's jobs report.
Well, we've only had a short amount of time to break down the report, and it's only just one number. Again, we don't make too much of any one individual report, and this one is a bit stale. It's a bit dated because it comes from September. It does look like it was a mixed report, but it's in line with my expectation that we would see some further softening in the jobs market, which just highlights the difficult time that this is for
Hello. Hello. Gosh, man. Oh. Uh, Actually, I cannot hear. I don't know. I'm having so many issues here with this Windows 11 now. Just check this. Okay, I guess I have it here. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is Thursday, November the 20th. It is 10:27 a.m. Eastern Time. There is... Okay, give me a second here. All right. It has been a very... I was doing my homework yesterday. I felt like overwhelmed with the amount of the information to process that we have to process, and there is just so much to pay attention to in this market. I'm from yesterday we have this event. We have NVDA reporting earnings. You know, within the expectations is kind of like the beat, right, in all metrics was pretty much a given. And being in the short side, going into the earnings was very bad idea, yeah, from my point of view. Now we have this market. Something really interesting that I have observed in this market is the following. This 4-day range here in the ES, and I got this 4-day range here that starts, actually it started Wednesday, which was the breakout of this 3-day range here now, right, with the gap. But Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, come on, I did something here that I need to undo to show it better. Okay, this is it. All right. These 4 days here, I was taking the wrong ranges. These 4 days, each day has 2 millions of contracts, which is very, very unusual. Okay, very unusual for a market like the ES, in which the average is, you know, in a good day is 1.8, 1.7, including the overnight, right? And it was just so big, man, so huge. And one of the questions that I ended up asking myself at the end of the day, of the past 2 days, is if this market cannot have downside extension with that amount of volume coming in, the odds that the market is going to have some sort of upside or retracement or pullback or maybe establishing a low for forming a base for the rally that may come were actually increasing. That is what I was thinking. And as the day closed yesterday, this day coming lower, this day could not now extend the break, right? It actually traded to the upside, but with value. You know, this is one of the things that could be misleading. Value actually moved lower. But the market opened inside previous day range and has a huge rally right from the opening that took the market out of the previous day range. This single piece of information was really important, because the market, or any market that do this kind of stuff at the opening, is not a weak market, right? If I am going to be short in this market, I have to be very careful now, right? Coming into this day. It doesn't mean that I am not going to short it. I cannot short, but I got to be very careful because things are starting to change. There's feels signs of change, and trading is about change. Now, we got NVIDIA. One of the things that caught my attention was that the rally that came after, it actually didn't take the market outside of the range, neither in the ES, neither in NASDAQ. Right? The upside that happened in NVIDIA, actually it was here. Right? No, my bad, it was here. It didn't take the high, which is kind of misleading again, right? Another thing is misleading. And now, we have non-farm payrolls. I have no idea what number was, but the market didn't have too much of a reaction for that number. it seems like NVIDIA is taking control of the narrative now, at least for today. But there's a lot of back and forth that is happening. I am watching, observing a lot of signals, like tremendous amount of volume here, for example. Blocks coming, huge blocks coming, about thousands, and I have 1,000 here. That is actually white. It's low volume, right? Because it's white, but still really high, right? 2,000 here, almost. I cannot see this number. I cannot see this is 1,000 or 1,900. Also, tremendous back and forth also. Signals to the downside, signals to the upside. Right? I was using these alarms to to monitor any trades that I may have at the moment. If I was to the upside, for example, if I see something coming to the downside, boy, I better close the trade or hedge or do something. Okay, because the odds that the market is going to retrace when this is what's happening were increasing, right? The odds that my trade was not going to work were actually higher or going higher. But there is tremendous back and forth here. That again is very misleading, okay, because the market has changed already. Yeah, there is change in the market. Oh, come on, man. The market has changed. What the heck is this? Okay. The market has changed because we have a gap here. We have a gap. A very prominent POC that has not been checked, that's not been revisited. The buying is coming again from the 50 moving average. There was tremendous amount of stops here in this area. There are tremendous amount of stops here in this area, here in this area, here in this area, and all the way up to here as well. So the market has plenty of reasons to keep going higher. That I can say. It doesn't mean that's going to go, but that there is good odds that's going to happen, or at least until some sort of rebalancing happens from this 4-day range. Now, the ES has this 3-day range in the upper side that doesn't have too much really because of the movement that happened to the downside, but I cannot say the same thing from NASDAQ, because NASDAQ actually has better odds, right? Has better odds of upside, because it have the 3-day range in NASDAQ is above, right? Above these 4 days. This 4-day in this profile here. This is a merge profile. I put the Monday and Tuesday together here. As the day develops, I'm going to join this one here. I'm going to add this one to this profile as well, because it's actually it's not worth having here now. And what I was saying, right? The inventory that NASDAQ has here, notice how value was inside, can be used, right, or can be targeted by traders that are here in this market today, the ones are in NASDAQ. And check here, right? Check this thing check the amount of volume that we have here. This is the daily histograms. This could be maybe the first stop or the first area. It also happens to be an area of support resistance for NASDAQ. That is the 25,400, right? And leaving a gap down here, right? This one, the market has to deal with this one first before it can target this area here in the upper side, around the 25,600 or something. And that will give, right? That's actually is something that happens today that will give a market a tremendous upside. That will be above 1,000 points in Nasdaq, which is really huge, and it is a significant signal that there is change in the market, right? That has changed. And that will be confirming change. But if I'm going to wait for confirmation, usually, right? Usually, if I wait for confirmation, the trade has already been taking place. I got too many things. I don't feel actually good. I don't feel comfortable today to do. And I did a couple trades earlier. But I don't feel that well now. Let me add that day. Now I have Friday, Monday, and Tuesday here, right? As this market is taking this high. Also, this area is my area of support in Nasdaq, the 25,200, and it was just too really hard to do something here, right? Because the market, even though the bias is to the upside, the market went against the trade. It was scary actually, the amount of distance the market can move. My initial plan was take some longs when the market feels this void that has here, right? It actually didn't. It did not, right? Because I don't see this kind of volume coming down here. It would be, for me at least, it would have been better if I had this kind of volume down here. I'd rather just make a stand around the opening. And I am still also, the other thing that I don't feel comfortable with is I am still getting familiar to this Windows 11. I guess I wait too much before I do the upgrade. It is something interesting happened when I did my upgrade. I went to the shop, to the store where I took this computer, this PC once when I had a crash, right? I have to have the Windows replaced because I don't know what happened. It is a Ryzen 7 that I have here, which should not give me any kind of problems during the update, right? But I just couldn't do it. It was very weird. And when I talked to the guy, to the owner of the shop, it is amazing how you can get information from people based not in what the people say, but actually how it says, or with how uncomfortable they are talking about certain topics. It makes me, why I say this? Because it makes me believe that they did something, that this guy actually did something, so I can come back later. And why I'm saying this is because in markets, something similar happened. There are a lot of information that actually we can extract from the market, not by the things or not by observing the behavior of the markets or of traders through the market price, right? But with things that don't happen, right? Are those little nuances that actually give us a lot of information. If we are able to actually see the nuance or to perceive the nuance, that means that we are kind of like getting into something. It's like when you drive or we drive also, we actually do pretty much all that stuff in automatic. And when we become alert is when something out of the ordinary happens, right? Suddenly we see something moving fast, for example, in a real big mirror, right? And that is a nuance that catches our attention, right? Same goes for trading. Same goes for markets. Today, for example, the thing that I am observing here is this market is really taking this. I mean, for example, this area here that I have in Nasdaq, the area that I have in ES would be this one here. That is around the 6770. Nasdaq is 25,200. In previous days, in the past weeks, this would have been a clear trade, taking, positioning a trade here. If the market takes this area out, where the high volume is, that's I don't want to do anything with this market, with this long here. So the trade is bad, right? The trade didn't work. But today, something has changed. And the market is taking way too much, right, extension below these previous references that work kind of like well, right? Now, the other one, this one here, for example, right, this particular level here, notice how much this market has come through this. This is significant also. This volume here, it has the volume, it has the reference, so there's something there. And the market just kind of like extended a little bit more. Now, the extension, the first time, as you can see, is bigger than the second time. The next one could be this one. Now notice here, notice where, okay, as the market goes lower, where the volume is here, right? Let me do everything again. Notice where the volume is, right there. There's an accumulation where the volume is, right? And where now this volume is relative to the reference. Right? Those are little things, right? Little nuances that we have here. Now let's check this. Let's check the ES. Right? Same thing. The reference here, tremendous amount of blocks here around this 77. I mean 6770. Yeah. All over the place, up to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, tremendous imbalance in the market. Look at this here, for example, this area here, how this is just an finished action up here. And notice where the volume is. I extend, it's bought from the opening. Next time it comes closer, it takes the volume again, not that much extension to the downside. It doesn't test this high here, right? And it seems like the deal at the market is what the market is doing is dealing with this 4-day range here. I may even include this one here, right? I may even include this 5-day range here. But before getting over here, the market has to deal with 6,800 here. I want to see what happened here, because if you remember, when the market was going lower here, during this day here, the market was lower, the market just didn't care about any kind of references that were in the way. As the market goes back higher through the same areas, I wonder if it's going to respect or pay attention to this one, or to this one, or to this one, or to this one. If it does, again, it will signal what kind of traders are the ones that are behind this movement. Right? Now, the pullback that this market has had is not actually that much. It's, I would say, a healthy pullback here that the one we have seen. You know, this is only it's only 5% pullback, almost to the tick, right? 5% is right from these highs. 5% is right there, and it just happened there. Now, this is what is interesting here, because this market has not taken, this market has not taken previous month low, so it's still a trend to the upside. The weekly is, we have one time frame lower. There is change in the daily, very questionable low. You know, starting right there at 50. This also is very questionable. And this one's as well. And the support resistance that you have seen previously is this level here. You know, previous breakout, as the market went to make new highs here, the same thing happened to the downside. You can see that these now, for example, are you know, kind of like respecting or paying attention to that same reference. And that is the reason why I have this one here, this guy here, this one here. In Nasdaq is support resistance around the 25,500. Now, let's take a look at how the markets, what the other markets are doing here. For example, gold, crude oil is in a range, trending lower in a range in the channel. This is not bad, actually. The dollar is building a range. You know, we have a downside trend, but it has been trading in a range for a while now, pretty much almost 2 quarters, right? To 3 quarters of a year. Gold is weakening here now. Yesterday I said that this may attempt to start a new rally here, but notice what is happening here. It's kind of getting lower. We got a gap here, but what worries me here is this. Notice this one's here, this one here is pretty much like a exact trend line and being bought from the 50. If this 50 is taken, there might be an attempt to take this, the 100. Very questionable here. This is the second time this market, that the bond market is being bought from the 100. That's no good. That cannot be good. Support resistance has been taken in the 30, right? Remains to be seen if there is going to be acceptance. This can be a look below and failure and can target actually this upper side. Let's see if there's something here. all markets in sync, as you can see. All markets are in sync, all markets gapping. This is the ES, this is NASDAQ, this is Russell, and this is Dow. The odds that the market, all the indices are going to remain strong or are going to have continuation of the movement are higher when there is sync, right? When these indices are moving in synchrony. When this one, for example, is going lower and this one is taking a range and these two doing different things, the odds that there is continuation of the movement are lower, while the odds of rotation increases. I don't see that happening today. Well, or at least whatever I say, remember, you got to take it with a grain of salt, and always it is in probabilistic terms. Have to think in those terms. Let's take a look here. I guess I can use Sierra for this because I like this better. Open file. What is open chat book? Open chat book. Indices bar. Okay, this is something interesting that I noticed yesterday here. These ones here. This is the amount. Okay, there's something happened. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, come on. Something has happened now. I got an alarm. What happened? Okay, another block here has came. No, actually, this is a bit. This is a different. This a. You know, when I got a short here, for example, if I got a short here, this kind of activity is an indication that that can be the end. All right, let's see. Before checking those bar charts, let's see what happens here. A lot of whites here. Traders will be buying dips today. Look at that, man. This area again has been taken. Now that has been taken again, it can be used to sell actually. I got that for NASDAQ, but I mean for ES as well. But there's still the action is still to the upside. Notice how this low has not been taken. This one is history. How can I erase this guy? All right, erase. You are not worth anymore. Let's clean these charts a little bit. Last. The overlap is just huge here. No, just check this out, man. How much these charts, this bar or this range is retraced here and here and here, right? Almost all the range has been retraced. Have to be very careful here. What I am observing now is, again, notice how well in sync these markets are. This is this area here, right? As NASDAQ trades through this heavy traded area, same thing happens in ES. And now I'm checking NASDAQ. I actually checking the ES first, then NASDAQ. Right. I have added the blocks alarm or Nasdaq. This is volume above 400, and what I have in the ES is 10,000. 10,000. You know, this level here, this is huge, man. I am going to test here if these numbers, if these alarms come too often, it means that I have to increase the size. Again, I am more focused on the years. Oh, check this out! Check this out! This is a 4 here. This usually is an end of the action. When this kind of how can I say this? This kind of actions happen. Usually the market comes back to grab more sellers and then make another attempt to the downside in this case, right? But notice how far it is from this area, for example, right? Really. Two ticks from the low, that's not good. This is, check Nasdaq. This is basically the same level now. Very narrow range, actually. No? 90, 60, 30 points for the bigs that we're having now. Last time I checked, it was 25. Let's check how much it is now. Huh. It's not bad, actually. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, there's a change of the action here now. This is really good. Now, down below, very obvious, right? Down below we have overnight POC. We have the 50 moving average. We have the opening a little bit higher from current levels. We have closing the gap, closing the distributions, 6,700, and last. Settle is below and really far apart from last. Same things for Nasdaq. I am actually here going to undo these merges. I'm going to join only these 3 here because I want to see the gap here now. This one, and this one really don't matter. What matter is yesterday's and this high here. Just check that high, man. Check this low here. Right from the 50. Right, isn't this beautiful? Huh? Right from the 50 to the tick, man. It just tell us who is here. There was significant amount of blocks. There was a nice trade yesterday from those 10,000 blocks. Where it is? Let me show you. I guess it's here. Is it? No. This is. This is the thing when you have too much data. Let me see. I have only 2 days here. Oh, okay, let's. I mean, I usually don't. I remove the overnight as soon as the market opens. But today I'm not going to do that because of what happened with NVDA and non-farm payrolls. That's the only reason why I don't have. But by not doing that, it also gives. I have just too much things here. Here, no. I am remembering. And that this is yesterday, but this is at the close. I guess I was remembering Tuesday instead of yesterday. Okay, look at that. Okay, this is some buying coming here, some differential here to the upside. But let's see what the market does relative to that. Now we have I mean, the action now is to the downside, right? Why you wanna go to the upside if the current action is to the downside? Still, there's some buying coming here at this level. Another time, 1, 2, 3 times that alarm has sound. But even though I don't pay attention to the number, but to the color, right? Because the differential here is 1,000, but this 300 here to the downside has more relevance than this 1,000 to the upside. Again, I have to. What I do is I use these things in context. I apologize for a really messy stream. I think I consider this being a messy one. Now, just check this. I'm going to check now this volume here, at the 50. You know, the bias here may be overcome by the pressure to the downside now. If you do scalping, this can be an interesting. It can be interesting sign as well, because to scalp, scalpers just take a couple points at a time, trade multiple times, and just a couple times, a couple tickers, couple handles each time. You know, the objective is just a couple tickers, a couple handles, my bad. POC. distribution close, 1600, last gap close. All right, guys. I guess I am going to call it a day here. I need to organize my thoughts here. I will check this area here if the market comes back to this. Look at how this buyers here, how the buyers that came here are being just, you know, overrun here. And this is the risk of scalping. Scalping is considered a strategy in which the scalper, pick pennies in front of the steamroller. The win ratio is really high, 70, 80% of times you got wins, right? The thing is, those losses have a tendency to be big. Very interesting day. Very interesting day here right now. Look at that. What time this happened? I don't have this, or do I? 6775. Okay, I have this one here. $6,780. I do not have this one. No blocks, no nothing here. I don't know. This is 6780. If this is to the upside or to the downside. Let's do it to the upside for now. Look at that, man. Look at this. Now, let's check NASDAQ. If this guy is feeling that void. Oh, it was long gone here. Huh. I completely forgot about it. Wow, look at NASDAQ. This is huge, man. Gosh, man, the longs are being crushed here. Yeah, boy, this huge range here. Look at how much underwater they are. Okay. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to take a break. I just got too many things going on around circles in my head right now. I'm not thinking clearly now, and that can be risky actually. All right, have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. Hope I can see you tomorrow. Bye bye.